I was always interested in design. As a child, I was interested in landscape design. I was interested in houses. My parents, when I would ride around with Mama and Daddy, I would ask, whose house is that? And whose house is that?
For a guy whose background was not in interior design, he had an affinity for it. And I wound up pretty much taking the same path. Where he went to the law and to banking, I went to the oil business. And my degree's in petroleum land management, his degree's in law, and here we are both in the design business at the very highest level of design and creativity. I think it's something we both just gravitated to.
He has his professional side and then his personal side, but they do really mesh in that Dad most significantly has taught me how to see beauty in everything and to pay attention to detail.
Joe, being as creative as he is, oftentimes will throw in a last-minute thought 1 or 2 days before completion of an installation.
And I knew from experience that Joe was going to make it look good.
It turned out 2 of the houses that I was enamored with as a child, I later ended up decorating, and it turned out both of them were John Staub houses.
We had a day and a half left. The project was 2.5 hours out of town. And he looked at the stairs, and because this was supposed to look like a summer house, and it was like a picnic in a tent, he looked at the staircase, this little short staircase, and said, we need to cover that in a canvas and rope it like you would see at a boat dock somewhere. And so it was the immediate scramble of all of us, his team behind the scenes, to figure out where to get the rope, who could get the grommets, who could make the pieces and fit the template, etc. And of course, as always, we make it happen. And of course, as always, Joe was right, because it added an extra detail that just really enveloped and completed the project.
He's just such a gentleman, and he's so charming, and he's really been an inspiration to me. I guess in terms of the roadmap of my life, I feel like I wouldn't be where I am today without the risks that I've taken, and I've learned that from watching my father.
The job turned out extremely beautiful. It was magnificent. It was stunning.
This room was created in the early 18th century in Derbyshire, England. It was the oak drawing room from Wingleworth Hall. And William Randolph Hearst and his agents bought the room in London after the house was demolished in the 1920s. It was crated and sent to San Simeon to be built into the Hearst Castle there, along with many other rooms. And these, many of the rooms were not used in Hearst Castle, and so they had an auction of these rooms in the early 1940s, and the wonderful Dallas architect Wilson McClure ended up getting this room, and he built this little house around this room.
I think I'm a designer. He thinks he's a photographer. We do these photo shoots where he's taking shots of all the angles with his camera and showing me, and I'm always talking about this fabric line is the best, and he and I definitely have had fun kind of weaving ourselves into each other's realms, but ultimately we respect our craft.
Found a real friendship in in being able to put things together from my sources and from his creativity.
I'm lucky that my hobby became my career. I feel fortunate that my passion for design became a fulfilling profession for me. I'm thankful for the wonderful clients I've had over the years and the talented architects and tradesmen who I've collaborated with. They've played a part in my receiving this award. Ultimately, throughout my life, it's the friendships that are established that are the mark of a rewarding career. I want to thank the board of directors for bestowing this award on me.